joking, always smoking dope. Fuck them if they getting over, got a month of coke because the kid the coldest. Ain't changed, I stay the same and maintain it. Safe to say the kid getting older. Forever gang, I'm never switching over. Made a lane and niggas can't get over. I can't mess with
something.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna just leave that at that. So you good. Ouch. It's about time though. And finally here I am. Welcome back to Chop It Up with More. New episode. And I'm here with my boy. I'm just playing. That's a bad intro, right?
Yeah, it's pleasant outside, but it's kind of funny to have a mic and to sit on the patio.
This is different, man. I ain't gonna lie. This is a different type of even though I haven't necessarily recorded my episodes, I done definitely done my fair share of failed trials and stuff. But this is official, and this is about time that I finally get started. So here I am, Chop It Over More. I'm gonna consider this episode 2, and you know who I am with my first guest, my big bro. 1 out of 2 of my big brothers, my blood brother.
1 out of 2, number 1 of 2.
No, you think you number
Subjective, 1? Number 1 of 2. I'm not the oldest. I ain't that old. But
yeah, you the middle child. You was the first middle child. I'm the second middle child.
That's a good way to call it.
The first middle child. I got 2 older brothers and 1 younger sister. And here my boy is, Reverend Rolando Donaldson, my boy.
Rolando.
Welcome, my brother. How you feeling today?
I am feeling good. I'm honored. Let me say that. To be on Chop It Up with Mar. Like,
yeah.
Proud of you, bro. I mean,
appreciate it.
Everybody got to find something to do, and then when you find something to do, you got to do it. You know what I'm talking about?
Gotta do it. Gotta stick to it.
So, respect to you.
Appreciate it. He talking about he is, what's the word you use? You're honored. Don't that sound like something a preacher would say, huh?
Well, no, it's like, because the fact is I'm on a show right now. I feel like I'm on a show. I'm on a podcast.
You is. Ain't no feeling, my boy. You really out
That's
there.
what I'm saying.
It's real.
It's real. I've been an invited guest, so I am honored.
My boy.
Just because you're my brother, I would tell anybody that. But not to be cliche, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You trying to talk to me.
I'm out here. Yeah.
All right, so.
Lil you. So let's talk about Lil you. Of course, I know you. So I could really go back and I could throw out the nicknames. You know what I'm saying? We got Rev Row right now.
There we go.
We know Lil Boo Boo. You know Lil Boo, you know what I'm saying? We got Baby Preacher. I can keep going on and on. But let these people know about yourself, man. I mean, think about how old are you?
I am 26.
26, my boy, 26. And you've been preaching for how long?
10 years.
10 years. So let's do the math.
Oh, yeah,
going on 10
years. Going on 10 years.
My boy started preaching when he was 16 years old.
Yeah, I accepted my calling at 16. My initial sermon wasn't until I was 17.
What was the date of your first sermon?
First sermon was September 29th, 2013.
So that's a month, pretty much a month. So you was a month into your 17th year of living.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it was, to be specific in terms of months, I feel like it was April. Like April of that year when I accepted my calling. Because, you know what I'm saying, when Papa died, April 7th. So it was like funny, like it was around that time.
So clarify accepting your calling to those who don't know. Because obviously there's a difference. You said April you accepted your calling. September you had your first sermon.
Right, all right.
So explain to that, what's accepting your calling?
So every real preacher, and I emphasize real preacher because every real preacher, you accept your calling. You heard a voice on the inside that was not, because all of us got an inside voice. We all talk to ourselves.
A conscience.
We have a conscience.
Right.
An inner us that speaks to us and that we have conversation with. Sometimes it seems like we're a split personality. We argue with ourselves.
Yeah.
Making decisions.
I be arguing with HBK all the time.
But this voice, like this voice that you gonna hear, like this is different. It's unlike you've ever. It makes too much sense where you like, nah, I know this not me. So when you hear that voice, and it's saying, you know, for me, it was saying it's time for you to preach the gospel, because you well know, been preaching all my life.
All his life.
I am a quote unquote church boy.
Church boy. Let's talk about it. All right. So we gonna rewind. So let's talk about when we was young. We definitely grew up in the church.
All our lives.
Definitely grew up in the church.
All our lives. So,
you know what I'm saying?
But like I was saying though, just in that, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Around April, I was literally cutting the grass in our backyard, had headphones in, was listening to Funny, but I mean, it was never would have made it.
By
I
Marvin
was just
Sapp.
listening to the song, and all of a sudden, I heard this voice, and it made me stop. Like, bro, I'm cutting the grass, minding my business. Ain't thinking nothing about no
Probably
preaching,
mad.
nothing, just
Probably
listening.
mad he cutting the grass in the first place.
And like legit, heard something, stopped and was like,
Dang.
like, this is what this is like. And so that's when, you know what I'm saying, you go down the line, you tell your first cousin, told my parents, told my grandmother, told my parents, and then you tell your pastor. And after you tell your pastor, he said, okay, you make sure you done heard something. And then, you know, we plan when you going to do your trial initial sermon. But that's how that go. But yeah, church boys all our lives. I mean, like, the longest time I have spent out of church is because of COVID, when they shut the churches down. Other than that,
Fact. I can agree to that.
Other than that,
That's a fact.
every Sunday
Every Sunday. Mama wouldn't let me miss
during
it.
the week.
Mama wouldn't let me miss it on there. So like I said, to those that know me, you know, I'm the first child to be born in Texas.
Texas.
You know what I'm saying? All my family
Dallas boy.
is from Kansas City.
That boy from Farmers Branch.
You trying to be funny like everybody else? You think that's funny?
Nah,
you trying to be funny?
I knew that would get to you, but anyways.
He trying to be.
As you were saying.
All right, I'm gonna let you rock though. It's because we on camera. That's why. Anyways, so yeah. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, Kansas City. So talk about when you was a kid. You know what I'm saying, your relationship with Papa. Our Papa was a reverend. He was a pastor as well. So that's the very beginning. That's, you know what I'm saying, this boo-boo time, right? This little.
Nah, yeah, but when it comes to Robert Earl,
that's my Papa.
That's
name,
not
right?
boo. Yeah.
All right.
Robert Earl Walker. That's
Robert
Papa.
Earl Walker.
That's
R.P.
preacher
Papa,
pastor.
man. Forever in your arms. Forever in your arms. R.P. my Papa.
Yeah, so yeah. Of course, God rest his soul. So when it comes to him, you talking about Rolando, Little Preacher, and quote unquote Robert Shadow. That's another nickname.
That was the spark.
Because like I was so attached to him. Wanted to go everywhere he wanted to go. Wanted to mimic everything he did. That's who I followed. So, I mean, man, being a man now, like when I was little, man, you couldn't tell me nothing wrong about Robert. That man, he was the gold standard. He just was, in my eyes, he was perfect.
Nah,
He wasn't Jesus, because he was
No.
preaching and we was singing, like, you know what I'm saying? I want to do everything. We was singing together, preaching. He was preaching, you know what I'm saying? But I knew Jesus was separate from him, but the man that was Robert, I thought that dude was perfect, and I wanted to be just like him.
So, my Papa, he passed away in 2005. So, how old were you when Papa died?
He died in 2005. I was 8 when he died.
So you was like, I was 2 going on 3 probably. You know what I'm saying? I had my mirror moments of remembering how that was. Now for you, that's totally different, obviously. And, you know, being that you're a preacher and stuff, we all know that, you know what I'm saying, Papa the reason. Well, I ain't gonna say he's the reason, because obviously you gotta accept your own calling.
But he's an influence.
But he is the influence of why, you know what I'm saying, you was even on that route to becoming who you are now as well. So speak about losing Papa at the age of 8 until like you go into the age of 16, or just even you now, just like you lost him that young of an age, but knowing how deep of an impact, you know, what that is.
I'll say it like this, and shout out to my man Shu, because he's the one that's actually lived this as a testament. But like literally, when Popo died, it was like standing there watching your own house burn down. Like, and I say that because Shu is the one who really vividly created that picture. Because I mean, he had a nice house and everything. He lost it, but like he made it clear like what that was like. Like, and you just can't do nothing. That's all he would say. Like, you just can't do nothing. You have to sit there, and everything that you own, care for, possess, like, and that's what Papa was for me. He was an emblem. He was what I wanted to be like. He was, you know what I'm saying? I was his ride or die. Like, I was riding with him.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was married, but you know what I'm saying? I was his
Shout out grandma, man.
I was his grandson that, you know what I'm saying, like, made him proud. And, you know what I'm saying, like, when he passed, for somebody that at that age didn't understand death, but, like, death was like, nigga, you gonna learn.
Yeah. That was your first death where it was like, man.
Well, I have to say no. I have to say no because Uncle Pete. Uncle Pete passed before Papa, and
that was
Uncle Pete. Uncle Pete might have been my first real one. That and I'm trying to think if Uncle Pete passed. I think Uncle Pete did pass before Pastor Cobbins, who was my first. It was my first pastor, Macedonia, KCK.
Shout out Macedonia.
Yeah. Shout out Macedonia. That's where it all started at for Donaldson. But yeah.
I have my fair share.
Yeah, so I think Uncle Pete was the first introduction that hurt me. But I mean, it was maybe 3 years later, 4 years later, whatever time that was, that then Papa died. So like, death was at an early age, swinging hard on me.
And is it? I don't even know how to put this question, but I'll say, okay, so now you are now. And looking back, you definitely, you can't live life with any type of regrets because, without what happens in the past is where you at now.
Right.
So, I mean, since you've been a preacher 16 to now, like, how do you balance being Reverend Rolando, Reverend Donaldson, not even Reverend Donaldson, and then you got Londo. Like, is there a different, like, how do you know what I'm saying? I know people look at you. Mm-hmm. They look at you differently since you got that title. It's just like possibly like, you ain't supposed to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Just like little stuff. The little stuff that, a normal kid would do. Yeah. But you you know what I'm saying? You looked at differently. Like, what's your thoughts on that, if you understand what I'm trying to ask?
I do understand what you're trying to ask. And just like in the way that you asked it, there's many facets to it. There's many ways you can look at it or try to turn it. I mean, I guess regarding myself as a man, as a human, and being a preacher. Preacher is also who I am, what I'm called to do. But at the same time, I'm a brother, I'm a husband,
right? I'm
a son,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Father, uncle. So they're mutually exclusive, but also one and the same in a sense. So it's definitely, I think the point I am in life, it is managing to intersect the two in the perfect harmony in which God intends for them. So I think it's still an evolution of learning and understanding that. I don't have it figured out. Let's not say that, but I do understand that they do overlap. And starting to preach at 16 versus now being 26, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the beginning, it's very hard to understand. And as you grow, it's hard to comprehend and to work with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you got people. Number one, I say this. You got to learn not to be affected so much by people's opinion.
I don't think you're supposed to be like that anyway. Anything you do.
And that is true.
Just how I am.
And that is true.
That's how we was raised, though.
But like you explained in your question, like with church and with traditions
Oh yeah.
and
okay.
with the
It's a way different.
natural perspective
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Like, oh, you a preacher and everything. Like,
That's
you
like
have
look-
to be comfortable in who you are. And if you're not comfortable with who you are, you'll be fighting a war, an inner war, a raging war all your life. So you got to be able to take some opinions, because all opinions ain't wrong, but some people, or the certain vantage points and in which those opinions are coming from is what you have to, because not everybody's coming from the right vantage point. So it's an evolution, bro. That's the best way I can explain it. But it's I love being a preacher.
Shit,
I
that's you.
love being a preacher.
That's you.
It gives you great joy, because I think understanding your calling and who you are and how you're to operate in life, I think that's the real joy in it. Doesn't always feel good, but I think having the joy of a somewhat greater understanding, a deeper understanding, rather than some of the shallow opinion and thoughts that you get, because some people really don't think it deep about it. You just say, "Oh, you're a preacher." Hold on, I'm a man, human, like you're a human, and I need grace and Jesus just as much as you. And that's not just what Ron doing, but that's how I react to some of y'all too.
Like, dang, I ain't no different from you. I'm just.
Sometimes, sometimes,
It's almost, I'll be like, damn.
sometimes
It's
my
like that.
my response is not.
It's not Christ like.
It's not Christ-like.
Yeah. You know what
My
I'm saying? What Kendrick say?
reactions
I am a sinner.
was probably going to
Was
sin.
probably, you know what I'm saying? I
So-
feel you. I feel you, preacher. We ain't gonna get you there. I ain't gonna have you start preaching in
Don't
that.
kill my vibe.
Don't kill his vibe,
Don't
man.
kill my vibe.
I feel you. Now, I'll be the one to say, speaking on, preachers and what they have to go through, the stuff that y'all see. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that comes with outside of just preaching the gospel. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more to it. You know what I'm saying? It's a bigger responsibility to both preachers and pastors. There's a difference, right?
Yeah.
To both preachers and pastors. There's a big difference.
I
You wanna explain?
Man,
Yeah. Go ahead. There's a
since I
difference
was
between
in
preachers
high
and
school-
pastors, y'all.
Oh, you're a pastor? I am not a pastor. There's a difference between a preacher and a pastor. A preacher is a preacher of the gospel.
Right. My boy.
He is a minister. He is a servant. A pastor is a servant. Because in the root of a pastor, he is a preacher. But a pastor is a leader of a congregation who has souls, people that are under his leadership. Therefore, when it comes to encouraging, when it comes to being there for them, that is the duty. A pastor it's not just preaching.
There's more to it.
Yeah, and I mean, and that is the truth for a minister, a preacher as well. You know what I'm saying? You just can't be reading your Bible, studying just so you can preach. No, there's ministry, there's servanthood in just being a minister. But a pastor has a congregation,
Has his own
church.
Has his own church.
in which he is the leader and the shepherd of. Amen.
That's how we go end that. Hey man, he's funny. So with that being said, yeah, it really doesn't even really. Okay, all right. So I want to speak on. You have baby girl Nia. You as a father, you have one child. How old is Nia? Nia Rose. See, one going on two. I'm big uncle, y'all, but shoot.
He big uncle, but he don't know her age. Lord have
I'm in
mercy.
college, you know what I'm saying?
My daughter, your niece, is 2 years old.
Yeah, I knew that. But I be bragging on her, telling people she's still winning, but she know how to talk like it's crazy, y'all. My niece is smarter than your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew. Put money up. Any 2-year-old, I'm putting Nia Rose on the stand, no cap. No cap.
Say, man,
I love Nia Rose.
For a firstborn, I'm just not gonna lie. We hit a home run because this girl just
God bless you, my
She
boy.
is a handful. She is
She's
a
smart,
handful.
though.
It's cute and everything to be advanced,
Baby girl.
but my God, is it a handful? And it is, yeah.
Son, baby
But I
girl,
love
man.
my baby.
What's up, man? So
I
you
love my
think
baby.
fatherhood treating you good?
Yeah, man. Fatherhood is treating me good. Fatherhood is bittersweet. It is very sweet. You see all the joy in it.
Right.
But as you well know, it's bitter. So
Yeah.
that's literally been that.
To elaborate on the bittersweet, because even I could say myself, we lost our father in 2021.
2021.
2021 March 21st, 2021. Right. And what you call it? I could say even after losing my father, you know, it's so many different perspectives to look on, you know what I'm saying, losing a person very deeply hurt, you know what I'm saying, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But to speak on, since you a father now, even me being young, I'm big uncle. So I'm gonna keep it that way. But you know, the interest in fatherhood, I must admit, is definitely, you know what I'm saying?
Are you
only
saying-
no, only because I understand how important my father is to me.
Right.
Now I see how important y'all are. You know what I'm saying? My oldest brother. You know what I'm saying? I can understand
You
how
understand
family.
being a child more.
Yeah.
Which
It's like
therefore
losing.
makes you appreciate
Yeah, so it makes me
fatherhood.
appreciate fatherhood, the act of fatherhood. When I see my brothers with they, that's why I'm. You know what I'm saying? You understand? Yeah.
That's very
you
wise.
you thought I was trying to? No.
That's very wise.
It's just how I look at it though.
No, yeah.
So therefore, you know what I'm saying?
Likewise.
What's the? All right, let's say the before and after, because you had baby Nia right before Pops passed away.
October 2020. October 1st, 2020 is when Nia was born. Pops
Right.
died March 21st. So she was 6 months
6 months.
when Pops passed.
So Pops was able to see, was able to, you know what I'm saying? He was able to be
He
with
was able
Nia,
to
all that
experience her.
pictures. He was able to experience Nia, be with her.
He was able
Right.
to say, yo, Nia gonna be smart. He would say that all the time. Nia's gonna be smart. This baby just so
Yeah.
he can see.
Mm-hmm. Curious. Nia's very curious. She acts just like you in that sense. But I would say, so from there to after losing Pops, what's your, explain the bittersweetness. Is that's what you speaking on, right?
From now to Pops or between?
I'm just saying before, you know what I'm saying, you was able to share that experience of having a kid, 6 months with Pops. That's something that I would never be able to experience.
That 6 months feels like 10 seconds in totality. A real talk, because you learn a lot. She was smart, and don't get me wrong, because in those 6 months there was some experiences. There was a winter storm in February, and my father was fathering me while I was trying to father and be a husband in my own household. He was like, man, because our water and our electricity was out. Well, the water went out later in the week, but the electricity out for the main part was out, and so it was cold. But I was being a father and husband. But I was like, look, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Got a newborn and everything, but I was like, we're going to be all right. I'm going to leave my family. I was like, yeah, we're going to be good. My pops was like, you need to bring that girl and that baby over here. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, because Jess had just had the baby and everything. Like, man, you need to do right. Come over here where it's warm. We got, you know what I'm saying? Food.
There ain't no pressure.
Man, he was pressing. So that was one of the moments that I do look back and I really cherish, because that was like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was like you grown and you got chores, but at the same
Sometimes
time,
you gonna need to lean back.
You still need that guidance. So it's like in that 6 month, I got some stuff, but at the same time, that 6 months to a year, that 6 months to now 2 years, like there's more.
That's crazy,
what
dog.
have been talked about. Yeah, so
2 years. It's gonna be 2 years coming
it is
up in
what
about
it
like 3
is.
months.
So yeah, I mean, trust me, I do not neglect that I do have an advantage that you won't ever have. But at the same time, I feel very robbed.
Hey, bro, you entitled to your own feelings.
We all entitled.
We all
I
entitled
think
to
we
our
all
own
feel
feelings.
robbed. I think,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But yeah,
Losing Pops is, you know, that's why I say at the very beginning, there's so many different perspectives.
mm-hmm.
So many different, they hit every day.
Facts.
Every day. No doubt about it. So to those that's grieving on losing a parent, you know what I'm saying, much love to you and prayers to you, I'll say for myself. because that is not easy no matter what age you were at. No age, you know what I'm saying? That's losing pops is definitely a toll, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I must admit on that.
Facts.
But let's change this. Let's try to
Switch by.
I'm finna ask you just a couple random stuff. I just want to see your mindset on. We gonna end this because I don't even know if it's still fooling with me. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Let me ask. What you think about Deion Sanders? I know Deion Sanders leaving. I go to Langston University. Y'all attend the HBCU, so I feel like I definitely have a little insight to those. I see the post that says something like red flag to those who have something to say about Deion but never attended the HBCU. But you know, black people gonna be black people. They gonna feel some type of way anyway. So that's how we is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to hear your perspective. What you think about Deion going to Colorado? No big deal.
Prime time. Say, man, I think prime time showed up to HBCUs and made an impact like he said it was. Deion stayed 3 years, man. And probably before he took that job, the idea or the opinion of Deion would have said he probably would have barely stayed a year, and then he would have did. Yeah. Deion stayed 3 years. Deion was vocal. He made a lot of change.
Yeah.
And Deion is leaving Jackson State. But Jackson State is still different. HBCUs are still different.
At least those surrounded by Jackson State.
Deion went for 3 years.
No football.
And he made sure corporations, big head honchos. I mean,
I'm not knocking any HBCUs that already got endorsements and
stuff.
He
was working on, remember he was talking about the financial aid offices and whatnot. He started talking about them. So I don't know if he really got to finish that to completion, but, you know, he was starting to make noise about HBCUs and their financial aid offices because it's just, you know, it's ridiculous for some of the stuff we got to deal with.
Yeah, financial aid, everybody know financial aid is irritating.
Point blank period. Deion is not limited to only be at an HBCU to help black kids.
Facts. I agree with you 1,000%.
There's a lot more black kids.
There might be a lot of interviews. There might be a lot of interviews, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just how the media is. You got so many doggone interviews. You're going to overlap the stuff that he said about, like, his perspectives on when he first came, how after, you know what I'm saying, his calling. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of stuff. But all in all, let's not be weird, y'all. That's all I got to say. Like, if we being for real, like, he came to Jackson State. He didn't have to come to Jackson State at all.
He made an impact.
He made an impact. You knew it. I knew as soon as Deion Sanders, I heard prime time going to coach at HBCU. It didn't matter what school he would have went to. That's an impact already. He's already getting attention. His own personal fan base to pay attention to Jackson State if they never paid attention to him before. Had HBCUs on nationals on ESPN. You know what I'm saying? College
has them on there.
Yeah. It's like
currently
that never. If I'm not mistaken, that never happened. So,
Hugh Jackson took a job at Grambling State University after Deion, and I don't think he would have did that had, you know, Deion and Eddie George not already been at HBCUs. I think because Deion did it, there's gonna be more cats that did it. There's gonna be more NFL players who are HBCU alumni.
That's all he really wanted to do. Literally, that's really was the main thing.
No, I don't think it was the main.
No,
thing.
I'm just saying it's the influence.
It's a piece of the pie because now he's going to Power 5 schools, and he's going to implement the same thing. Power 5 just as bad as the NFL when it comes to black coaches, and you know what I'm saying, like giving those kind of cats.
And to those,
Deion is the first HBCU head coach
to go to
a Power 5 school and be able to coach.
Uh-oh.
We talking about first, y'all. It's 2022.
2022.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Deion. We ain't mad at you. Nonsense fool with you. Let me say, dang, what was I finna say? And then I've seen people like they mad. I ain't gonna lie. This happens a lot, y'all, when new coaches come to a new school in colleges where, like, they'll literally clean out a whole roster and bring in new people. Now, obviously, this is going to be a little bit more public since it's Deion, but, you know what I'm saying? I know, did you see that video where he basically told him, You know what I'm saying? He gonna bring more. He gonna bring his own luggage. You see, he already said his son gonna come, but that ain't nothing new.
Yeah, I seen that
So-
about some. I don't know. Nah, not about the luggage.
No, you gotta see. He had like a conference with all the Colorado players already. He had his first meeting with them. He was basically saying like he gonna bring his own luggage. So go ahead and enter the transfer portal or something like that. Might be a
yeah.
little cold cut, but that ain't nothing.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing that's not normal. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta
I
say.
think
There's
that
nothing
may
that's
be the
not
only thing
normal.
that I may kind of be, you know, a little.
And this the fact that it's public. That's why it looks bad, probably sorta. And maybe if you go back and look at the video yourself, you can understand it better than I'm explaining it. But I'm just saying that ain't nothing normal. I know for a fact. Coaches coming in, clearing out a whole roster, you know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing normal.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing.
You like, yeah, the rest of y'all don't get out there in that portal because they ain't gonna go look too good.
Yeah, man.
Come
And
on,
then
man. You packing your bags, just go on. I mean, like if you want to tell them individually, yeah, but I agree.
yeah. All right, what you think about the Jerry Jones situation?
Jerry,
Considering
are we really surprised? Let me say that first.
no,
And that's rhetorical. Like, are we really surprised? Number one.
no.
And number two, I think it's more so it ain't about being the number one in the photo. But, bro, if you find yourself in a photo of segregation, when photos and stuff like that was that hard to come by in the middle of a huge – no, Jerry, you didn't know that this was going to turn out – you didn't know that the Little Rock Six was going to turn out into that. But you was there. And you found yourself in a photo. And 60-odd years later, it's followed you. And basically, a billionaire hiring black people
Crazy.
is not.
It don't look too sweet, dude. It look
Say,
bad,
man,
bro.
say, man, I do not
look
applaud a fish for swimming.
That might win over a lot of people's heads, bro. It ain't go over mine.
No,
But I
it's
was
not.
just saying.
That's about simple. You don't applaud a fish for swimming.
Yeah.
So when you're a billionaire and your corporation is this big, your business is this big, like eventually
It's gonna catch up to you,
you
my
gonna
boy.
catch you
It's
gonna
gonna be a straight
hire
bullet.
some black people. And yes,
gonna-
Jerry likes black people for what they do for him.
Or do nigga, it make them hella rich.
So if you making me money, then of course I
Your
like
star
you or whatever.
players is
But-
black.
But honestly, just as much as he was in that photo, when it comes to the issues that are still going on in 2022,
Bro,
Jay is still standing on the sideline, still
I'm
doing
gonna
his
just
own
put it like
thing.
this, y'all. I hope
That's how
y'all
I
know
see Jerry.
when people was tripping on the kneeling during the NFL anthem stuff, Jerry literally told his players, if you kneel, you're not playing. Why people forgetting about that?
I wasn't surprised in that.
Why you,
Jerry wasn't
if to the
surprised.
people that LeBron was a Cowgirls fan,
I think what's
and
surprising
he's not a
is-
Cowgirls fan, though, because
This
of that.
is what's surprising to me. Dak Prescott ain't changed much since before that. Before he got his money, when it came to that, he wasn't really. He didn't have the temerity to stand up, and even now with this latest thing, he still stuttering, kind of like, "Well, Jerry Jones is my boss." Man, if you confident and you secure,
Man,
you
you better
just be-
speak your mind, gang.
a grown
I
man.
would,
But
yeah.
that's what it's like, playing for Jerry. Everybody that likes Jerry and that's black, all of them kind of have this little stuttering. Nobody is hard cold and ain't cool with Jerry. Ain't no black person hard cold and truthful about him and cool.
No, for real.
I ain't heard what Michael Irvin said, but I bet you it wasn't.
He ain't
nothing.
gonna trip. Shoot.
I just
You heard
don't.
Stephen A.
I
Smith?
don't expect that nigga there. Come on.
Come on, Steven.
Sometimes-
I fool with you,
sometimes-
dog, but you be tripping. You really be on they. I ain't finna get
Stephen A. so worried about the photo. If we go that stop, you can't stop it. They
on,
posted
bro.
a photo. It's more about the article. And if you sitting here trying to make it about the photo more than the article, then you look like you gaslighting the situation and you working on the other side. I ain't calling you no coon. I ain't calling you none of that. But the more you keep talking about, let's not be doing this with photos. They gonna do it to us. It's gonna be what, bruh. Treat it for what it is and deal with them.
Yeah, I
Steve,
don't think
Stephen
Stephen
A.
A.
Hey
good.
man, I'm hot and cold with Stephen A. Sometimes he right and sometimes he be dead wrong.
Yeah,
and
man.
that's how I am with everybody else. But
Be
I
like
fool
that.
with him. But he
All
be
right.
tripping sometimes.
So I'm a last person, and we're gonna wrap this up. And I know this is gonna be a very quick message on how you feel about this person, Kanye West.
Father God, in the name of
Damn, it's like that.
Hey, say Kanye, y'all. Like, look, man, it has been evident that since that man's mama died,
Dog,
he just
He not-
year after
yeah.
year, he may have put out some good projects. He may have had some moments where he sounded okay, but all in all, when you just look at it, when you judge that mother from when his mama passed until now, he just ain't been right. And now,
facts. I'm
with
glad.
the latest, I'm not even gonna get into detail of the Jew and the original people and all of that. We're not even getting that because folks will read their Bibles and be able to understand
Preach, preacher.
that Jesus wasn't white.
Preach, preacher.
You should be able to read your Bible
Talk to him.
and know geography enough
Talk to him.
to know these folks wasn't white.
You feel me?
But when it come to Kanye and his comments now,
Yeah, he be
if
tripping.
folks would just realize the man is sick, he just mentally ain't there. They need to watch the documentary. And
Watch the
that last-
documentary. You're gonna have a
that last
slight
episode.
little understanding.
And Kanye okayed that. He was like, yeah, you can put that out there. If I was a person who tripped like that, I wouldn't okay that. It's literally on Netflix. You gonna watch and see what kind of episodes he had. He got billionaires sitting with him, and they looking at this and
Like with the,
what are you saying?
Like, what is
and
wrong with
Kanye is talking like he know what he's saying.
and he's still like that. Yay
And
for
that's-
president 2024.
Bro. And this idiot gonna say that. Bro, come on.
No, I'll just play.
But I'm saying, though,
You know what
if this
I'm saying?
man is talking like this, the sooner
Something gonna
the sooner you start treating him like a heretic, if you start acting like, only crazy, like Herschel Walker. I mean, Herschel Walker is running for office, so it's hard to mute him. But in terms of Kanye West, until the word then ignores Kanye to where it forces him into an abyss where he has to get help, because literally ain't nobody around him that can force him to get help.
No.
There's nobody that can save him
If
right
they
now.
keep him on the socials, you know what I'm saying, it's over with.
Kanye,
Elon got him on Twitter.
Kanye
with the
needs to
vibes.
finally fall into a place where nobody's listening to me, but I got all this money, and it forces him to
Y'all
get some
just
help.
if y'all
The man
just
need help.
stick to college dropout, y'all.
He is mentally
Graduation.
sick.
Just stick to that, Kanye, man.
He needs help.
God bless him. In Jesus,
Pray for the man.
in Jesus' name.
Stop acting like what he's saying is law. It ain't law. That's what they kill me. You
It's
got
a
a
little-
power. You got platform.
It's a little entertaining, I must admit. It definitely keeps a
We
little
should have
humor
talked
in my
about
life.
Kyrie. Should have talked about Kyrie. But
You want real quick? What you guys say about Kyrie?
Well, I said that about black people in the Bible and whatnot, but I'm really curious if Kyrie actually watched that video though before he posted. That is my biggest question.
Did you watch any of it or no?
No, I didn't know it was free. I thought you had to pay for it.
No, it's on.
That's why I didn't go
It's
look
on
for it.
Amazon Prime. or
I'll
something.
show up
I
how to
don't
pay
know.
for it. I'll go look for it. But my thing is, I just want to know if he did watch it before he posted it.
He had to.
And
He
that's
had to
a-
watch something. He had to watch something. You can't just.
From what I heard, I have not watched it, but from what I heard that was in it,
He
you
shouldn't have
cannot
posted that.
end up posting that and then act like you did. But if you didn't watch it all the way through or really thoroughly, but you posted it because the
I'll let
title,
you know. Okay.
because the title is very
Rod. No?
nah, it's very
Straightforward?
captivating.
Oh.
It's a very good title.
Attention. Yeah. It grabs your attention.
Yeah.
Like, oh, snap.
It is very indicative of what you want to get across. Like that is that's a good title. But the contents of it may not be. But you even said that's what I
what it
said.
is,
If you read your Bible, that's a good title if you want to catch the attention and you want to stoke a fire. But shout out to Kyrie for standing
Kyrie,
on his
man.
own. But
He
at the
free
same
now,
time,
man. He
hey,
just ended his Nike contract too.
you
I
gotta,
just
you gotta
seen.
accept. Oh no, they dropped him, and he was cool with that too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He free now. He said he free. So shout out
I'm
Kyrie,
not.
man.
I'm not supporting any wrongdoing. I ain't watched it. You know what
I
I'm
ain't
saying?
tripping,
But
man.
at the same time, that man, hey, he stood on his own. He wasn't bending or breaking, and I respect that.
Understood.
I
Well,
feel like I've been in the therapy, bro.
I got you feeling like. I really hope this captured, bro. I just gotta say that. That's all I gotta say. That's what I'm thinking now. Cause this was cool. My fault, y'all. If this was recorded, y'all just see my anger. Cause that happened before when my
That's
stuff
my
stopped
second time
recording.
doing that in the mic too.
Man, you good? You brought attention to it. But
I did indeed.
I appreciate you, bro. That's love.
Thank you,
this
bro.
was a good episode, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tapping in.
Say, man, chop it up with Mar. Y'all
Chop it up with Mar,
subscribe.
man. Definitely subscribe, tap in.
Look at me.
New episodes when it
Look at
comes
me.
soon. Real bro, my boy, love you. Hold on, no fingerprints. We tripping.
Mama.
Know what it is.